welcome to this new event. And we're going to do this every Thursday at 9:30 where we can. And it's going to be for 20 minutes. This is short, this is popcorn. And this is to support parents caught behind closed doors where they think there's something wrong with them. And we're going to show you that there's nothing wrong with you. These things have happened to you. So my name is Donna Stitchbury, and people know me as the relationship facilitator, but I'm going to stop here because I'm going to introduce you to Kirsty. And both me and Kirsty have had journeys with our children where we have been behind closed doors, and we want to normalize this so that you can reach out for the support that you deserve. So, Kirsty, first of all, do you want to introduce yourself and why you were on this journey?
Yeah, so I'm Kirsty and I work as an energetic kinesiologist, but I also um, am a mum, a carer. So I homeschool my two boys, and yeah, my parenting journey has been intense. So since day one, basically. So yeah, fairly all-consuming. And um, all parenting journeys reveal a lot when we let them, and often when the intensity is higher, the opportunity for revelation is greater, but it's also really full on. So yeah,
Shall I just jump straight into our question this week?
let's go.
Let's go. So the question I have, so we're going to have a question a week, and you can follow along with us. And the question I've got this week is one thing from your parenting journey that you would gift other parents caught behind closed doors in their journey. So there's so many parents thinking that they're not good enough. Kirsty, from your journey, and your journey has been very different to mine. What is
Mm,
one thing that you would gift that parent?
yeah, there's so many things to choose from, but but we're going to do more of these, so it's all good.
Absolutely.
And what's coming to mind right now is um, this idea that you're the only one that's struggling. Because of course, when you go out to play groups and things like that, you see people's public facade, and you also tend to see the parents who are coping better. So, for example, for the first 6 months, yeah, first 6 months, also longer, but for the first 6 months with both of my boys, I barely left the house. Um, and it was incredibly isolating. And that wasn't even on my radar as something to worry about at the time because I was so caught in survival. But I just had no idea how these other mums were getting out there and they were dressed and they weren't covered in vomit and they didn't smell like cabbage and they weren't spontaneously crying all the time. And they could get to this, gosh darn wriggle and rhyme on time. Just like it was just like this whole other world to me. And then, of course, as time goes by and you're able to get out more and talk to more people, that's when I um, realized we all have different degrees of struggle, but there's so many of us sitting at home thinking, I'm all alone. I'm the only one who feels like this. When, we could be so much more in connection and supporting each other.
And I was that mum sitting at home going, and even right into my parenting journey, I was like, how are these parents creating these amazing packed lunches and getting their children to school on time? How are they doing this?
Yeah.
Because I'm not doing this. So, shall I answer the same
Yeah.
question? Okay,
Yes,
for me,
please.
I've had to think about this, and it was more, I knew there wasn't something quite right with my child unfolding. And it's been really interesting because it was the start of my pickler journey because a child naturally unfolds and there was something I couldn't see. My baby was a flat baby, and he wasn't curling up like the other babies are. You know how they touch their toes, and I could see something there, and I think that's what got my interest in Pickler. But it was, I could see just how amazing this child was. I could see how amazing he was. And it's more back in the day. So we're now talking, gosh, 20 years ago. I found retained reflexes. And people told me I was batshit crazy. It's more, I was an over anxious mum, and that what on earth was I going on about this retained reflexes? Well, what I can say to you is my gift to you is trust your inner knowing. You are the mum, you know your child the best, and you know your inner knowing, because actually retained reflexes now is out in the mainstream. It's something that's talked about all the time. And I researched and I researched and I researched to try and understand what was happening for my child. And I had a lot of professionals telling me that I was an over anxious mum and that I just needed to, suck it up and get on with it. And I think our children deserve better. They deserve
Mm.
better. And if I just had one person with an ounce of empathy, we could have had a different journey. And so I think for me, I've gone off and learnt stuff because there was no one there to show me the way of how to be with my child. And what I can
Mm.
say, and I really want to celebrate this, is that both of my children have unfolded in their own authentic way, and they are totally different people. They are totally authentic, and they are living the lives that they want to live. And that is the mother that I wanted to be, breaking intergenerational trauma of children having to hide who they were to belong. My children have always belonged in every moment of their journey. I'm going to hand it over to you as well, Kirsty, because again, I think we're going to popcorn with each other as we talk about things. So, is there
Yeah.
anything you want to say as we just round off today?
Yes, yeah, I love that because of course I had a similar experience, but in a different way. Because yeah, straight away I was like, something's going on with this baby. Um, and with my firstborn, amusingly, he was kind of the opposite of flat. He was just like, "Ah!" and like all his muscles were super tense, and he was always crying, but super engaged, but crying, and then yeah. And the same thing, I was like, I know something's going on. I know he's incredible. And I know that there are things that could assist this baby. And I was such a kind of wallflower. So I had to really push past my discomfort to question, to ask, to get the second opinion, to um, yeah, advocate. I kind of that word's kind of overused now, but it's it's appropriate here to advocate for my baby because we do know as mothers and parents when we are able to tune in and as you say trust. So trusting yourself and trusting yourself to reach out for the right support that is aligned, which can be hard to find. You and I have talked about this before, how both of us, could have used support, um, and the support that was available wasn't necessarily the right fit. Yeah.
And we'll talk about some things as we go along, because
Mm.
I really want to just have it as just a, well, again, I think both of us, just as a small thing, just to whet people's appetite to actually know they're not alone. And we are different parts of our parenting journey. I'm at the young adult part of my parenting journey. And I'm incredibly proud of sticking to what I believed in, um, and doing things that people probably would have questioned. So again, and I think this will also lead into just the different ways. Because so again, I'm going to just explain who I am, so then Kirsty can explain who she is. So the journey that has taken me through Penny Brownlee and Dance with Me in the Heart, to Pickler, to Circle of Security, to Self Reg, to Donna Berry's Interplay. And then it was the attachment mentoring that really put the puzzle pieces together. And so for me, I think I was a person just through my own journey that was pushed very much into the head. I didn't feel a lot in my body. So I've gone the head way. And what I want people to really hear loud and clear is that my journey has taken the head stuff, but it's also taken the body stuff. And I use Kirsty regularly on my journey to feel in my body. And we were just saying how beautiful my body has got now, where when a wound comes up, I can pinpoint it in the body where I'm feeling it. From a person that didn't feel anything to a person now that can feel the minute somatic changes in my body. So that's been the journey that I've taken because of who I was. So mine was very a head into body journey. Kirsty, what was your journey?
And I just want to say, actually, first that Donna really blows me away with her awareness of herself. So she's really, really made that journey of being aware of the body. Yeah, it's pretty incredible. Um, I was in some ways the same. So I have always been, like I'll analyze everything, I'll think it through. Um, I would feel things intensely, but not be sure what to do with that emotion. And I got really sick in my 20s. I was quite young. And I started off with analyzing it, and I did the diet and the supplements and the yoga and this and that. And then I got interested in energy because that was the part that I needed to actually feel better. But then when it came to having my kids, I still went back into kids, into figuring it out. So I researched everything about attachment and toxins and this and that and food. Um, but having all that knowledge didn't really make it easier. I'm sure it did in some ways because I was quite firm in my beliefs about how I wanted to be with my children and how I wanted to respect them. Um, but nothing prepared me for the way they would bring up all that really deep, gritty stuff. Yeah. And that's where having someone alongside would have been the magic. But we all go through our journeys in the way we do and learn along the way. So,
And what I would just want to advocate for Kirsty is that the power of the body. Sometimes you can't do the thinking stuff because you need the body to come out of protection. And I often send people to Kirsty when their body is in too much protection to help them to open it up so that then I can work with them from the skill set that I have. And I suppose what I really want people to hear is there's many ways up the mountain. We're just two people. These are just our mountains that we've climbed. But we also absolutely celebrate the gifts that each other has. So I'm
yeah,
going to wind this up
totally.
because I want to make these just short so that you can either listen to them in the car or listen them to in moments where your children are asleep. You don't need long, hour-long things. You just need bite size to know that you're not alone. So we will be back next Thursday. You will see if you come onto either of our pages, you will see the link. You need to register for the Zoom so we know that you're coming. But there will always, always be a recording because we know mums' lives are really, really busy. So I will see you next week. And so will Kirsty.
Yeah, sending love.